Every week, NFL teams battle for a victory. The members of the roundtable battle to rank the top 10 teams in the NFL. Guests bring their arguments and defend their top 10. Hosted by Thomas Brown, this is the Rankings Roundtable.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Week 12's edition of the Rankings Roundtable show. It's hard to believe that we're already 12 weeks into the season. It is ridiculous. I kind of need time to slow down a little bit. Before you know it, it's going to be 3 years down the line, and we got Shedeur Sanders tearing the field up week in and week out. So, what a week we saw. We saw some nail-biting finishes. We saw some blowouts. We saw some team come to life. And we saw a team on Monday night, those Alice Cowgirls, go to shreds, baby. And I love it. It's all a beautiful sight, trust me. But as you all know, I did not come alone. I have some friends joining me tonight. Now, one of them, you know, he's had a very sticky face with my list the past couple weeks. Don't blame him. It's the way it goes, the way it lands. It's how we do things around here. Dan.
What's happening, man?
How about those Bears, baby?
Hey, we doing all right. We gonna make our way back. We're gonna make our way back to where we need to be.
Okay, and hopefully that doesn't end in a Cody Parkey-like ending to a football game.
Oh yeah, what a game that was, right? Where, you know, I knew it was gonna happen, man. I didn't have that much confidence in the situation going into that kick, so it is what it is.
It is. Oh man. Now, there was another team that played in the playoff game that I referenced. I am having them in my banner because why not? That's what fans of their favorite teams do. So the Eagles, the guy that's covering the Eagles, he got a mask on because no one could stop him. Mark, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, I'm on my dark shit today. Black mask, black hoodie. I mean,
yeah, I feel it. And by the way, in case anybody's wondering what's going on with the glasses on this week's episode, let me explain to you. So the last few weeks, I've seen so much growth with the Philadelphia Eagles that it's brought so much tears to my eyes. I just can't stop crying. And I don't want to share my eyes on screen because I don't want to embarrass myself, okay? I'm the host. I refuse to let that happen on broad display. So I got my napkin with me just in case I need to cry some more because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Eagles on the list, I hope. And that'll be enough for me, all right? All right, now I got that out the way. Let's have some fun, baby. All right, now, Week 12 was a very interesting week, to say the least. We saw some nail-biting finishes like the Chiefs and the Bills. What an entertaining game that was. We saw some blowouts in Detroit, who beat another team that's still trying to figure out if they should fire their head coach. Breaking news, I think you should. In many other games, I'm pretty sure that, you know, kind of threw us off guard a little bit. So, I mean, some of our top 10s might be a little bit wonky, I hope. So, Mark, I will start with you. What does your top 10 list look like and why?
ooh, let's rock. I'm with it.
Uh-oh.
There's no sound.
Having a little bit. There we go. There we go. Look, we appreciate Joe pulling the wires together to make sure it works. We love it here. It's awesome. All right, Mark, what does your list look like, man? Break it down for us.
All right, at number 10, I got the Chargers. Slept on team. What they are, 7-3. You know, they playing great ball under under Harbaugh. That's, you know, second in division in the AFC West. Number 9, I got the Packers. You know, despite injuries or whatever, Love struggling just a little bit. Packers still playing winning football. Number 8, I got the Vikings. If Steve is listening, sorry, bro, but no disrespect. The Vikings are an up and down team, and yet they're still 8-2. I believe 8-2 on the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still balling. Well, 8-2 or 8-3. I don't know what they are at this
8-2. Yep.
We got Baltimore. Baltimore is like the Vikings to me. You don't know what you're going to get from them week from week. All this talk about Derrick Henry, the X factor, I keep saying it every week on my show. Running the ball was never their issue. They led the league last year in running the ball. This is nothing new. But what we're seeing from them is the same old Ravens. Like, I think they 7-3, 7-4, whatever they are in a year. Like, they're not running away with the league like everybody thought they would. The Texans, I got them at 6. Injuries. You lost, Diggs, and then Nico Collins came back last week. Well, last week just passed. They're going to get right. They just got to protect Stroud. That's all. At number 5, I got the Steelers. Like, you beat the Redskins. You beat the Commanders last week, and then you top that with a win over Baltimore. How can I not have them in my top 5? No matter how you feel about Russell or whatever, they are balling. The Eagles at number 4. You beat the Cowboys, which we could have did at Team NBS Media. They had nobody, under them. Week prior, they beat the Commanders, so that was a good look for them, and they're balling at the right time. Number 3, we got the Chiefs. Why do I have them at number 3 and they just lost? Well, they lost to the team that's right above them at number 2. I mean, like if you're going to lose to a team that's also like, I'm saying 8-1 or 8-2. Like, don't lose to a 2-11 team. At number 2, I got Buffalo. Buffalo's a solid team. I did not see this shit coming. I am not gonna lie. I did not see Buffalo balling the way that they're balling. But Josh Allen has that team rolling. Number 1, I got the Lions. Like, what more is there to say? The Lions were supposed to fall off when Hutch got injured, and yet they have not lost a game since. They are, in my opinion, the most complete team in the NFL. That's my top 10.
Okay. I like it, Mark. Not too bad from a fellow Eagles fan himself. I appreciate it. All right, fly Eagles fly. You know what time it is. Now, to go from flying in the air to crawling on the ground with the demise of Matt Eberflus as his head coach, Dan, what does your top 10?
Dan alone, yo.
Hey man, he coming for me. You know what I mean? But it's all good though. I'm not worried about it. We got a little ways to go, but we're gonna be straight. We're gonna be a-okay. Trust me, believe that. So let me start off my list, man. Here, you start off with the Packers at 10. The Packers were not impressive last week to me, right? You got Jordan Love. He's leading. He's tied for the league in interceptions, I believe. With 11, and he's missed several games. So you know what I mean. That doesn't look really, really well in my opinion. And they just have a lot of work to do on their squad, in my opinion. But it is what it is. They're winning a couple of games. They've gotten over on a couple of things. They should have lost last week to my lowly Bears, right? You know what I mean? If it wasn't for a blunder by Matt Eberflus, we would have took that game and they would have been out of my top 10. So they barely hanging on by the skin of their teeth, really. They probably shouldn't be in there. I had a tough time deciding between them and the Commanders, so believe it or not. The Texans I have at 9. I still think the Texans are tough, man. They still have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is pretty good. It's not, things are not going as smoothly as you might plan, but it's a sophomore type of thing for CJ Stroud and them out there right now. But when you have a nice running game in Joe Mixon, you're always going to be around. You're always going to be in that top 10, in my opinion. The Chargers, man, once again, I mentioned it last week. I think they're flying under the radar with a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize how good they are, how well coached they are. Jim Harbaugh is doing an outstanding job. He's cut Herbert's passing attempts down by about 7 or 8 per game, really, and he's giving those runs to J.K. Dobbins. We saw what he was able to do in closing out that game the other day. They closed the game out the right way by continuing to press forward, get as close as you can, and look what happened. The dude broke down the sideline for a touchdown. If only Matt Eberflus would have had the foresight to think about those type of things, then we would be in a different situation right now. But, it is what it is. The Ravens, I got them at the number 7 spot. The Ravens are an enigma, man. They're you got a MVP caliber type season from of course the 2-time MVP himself, quarterback 1 out there in Ravenland. You also have Derrick Henry, who's doing his thing, right? But for some reason, they're dropping games from time to time. And, it doesn't bode well when Lamar doesn't play his best game against the top guys or top teams, that you have to go through in the AFC to get to the championship game. And that's the Chiefs, that's the Bills, teams like that. It seems like he struggles with them quite often, quite frequently. So until that changes, I'm going to have to stick them at the number 7 spot. There's some teams that are a little bit more impressive, in my opinion. The Vikings, number 6. I hate to put the Queens up there, but I have to do it. You know what I mean? They're 8-2. They're doing some good things on that side of the ball. What I will say about the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell is doing an excellent job. He was hired there, and he had the foresight. He was smart. He was also he believed enough in himself that he didn't feel threatened by hiring the defensive coordinator that he hired in a guy who was a previous head coach and is doing an outstanding thing out there. So Brian Flores, I should say. So, him being out there and hiring that guy, putting things together out there, what he's done with the quarterback position. Of course, you got, probably the best wide receiver in the game. So that always works well in your favor. But then they also have Aaron Jones, who's a decent running back. So you have once again, these are complete teams. These are well-coached teams that I'm putting into my top 10. And that's what you have to do. You have to factor in all of those things. The Eagles, I'm going to put them at the number 5 spot. Your, Eagles who live and thrive in a pathetic division. Let's put it that way. Dallas is trash. The Giants are trash. So you guys get to live and thrive in this easy division, and then you get on this show right here and you bloviate about beating down on garbage squads in a weak division. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's all I'm going to say about the Eagles right now. The Chiefs, I'm going to put them at 4. They dropped the game last week, of course, right? It was nice to see them lose because they should have been beat several times ago, several weeks ago as well. And I knew that their day was coming. They're not as good as what people think they are. They were just had they just kept winning some games. So you got to give them credit for winning the games, of course. But at the same time, they're not as good as what I think most people think they are. And, maybe this was just shot to kind of get them moving in the right direction. We don't know. We'll see. The Steelers, I had to put them above the Chiefs because the Steelers, once again, it's a well-coached team. It's a well-designed. It's brought together in a way that you just have to look at that. And I'm in awe of coaches that seem to have their teams ready to play every single week, and they're well prepared, they're disciplined, and so on and so forth. So teams like that I tend to put up there towards the top of the thing. One thing I will say about the Ravens too, I just want to backtrack a little bit to the number 7 spot. The Ravens, I think they're the most penalized team in the league. That's a thing that I did not like about them. That's why they've dropped down. In my opinion, some people may have them up higher than 7, but because of that, when you don't have discipline on your team, I think they got like 90 some odd penalties on the season. It's something ridiculous like that, and they're well out in front of everybody else. So you got to have some discipline on the team, but that's coaching. I will get back to the list though. Number 2 spot is the Buffalo Bills. Of course, Buffalo is doing the thing. Like I've said time and time again, they're a well-oiled machine, right? They seem to just roll. Josh Allen does his thing. Josh Allen's able to, win games. He bowling people over into the end zone. I mean, doing his thing. You can't be mad at it. You got to, give him his credit where credit is due. And the Buffalo Bills seem to be doing that. Once again, another team that's well coached. These teams, you look at them and it's like, man, why are they winning? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? And once again, I go back to coaching, man. That coach out there is doing his job. He's doing his thing. And it seems like you pull players away, you replace them with new players, and they just keep on ticking. They just keep on ticking. So you got to give the Bills their credit, man. They're the number 2 team in the league, in my opinion. The Lions, I will say it, and I've been saying it since a long time ago now, several weeks. I was the one that was on this Lions bandwagon as far as they were the top team. My very first time coming on this show, I said they were the top team ahead of the Chiefs, and I kept saying that. This team is outstanding, man. They had 38 first downs. Think about that. 38 first downs in that last game against Jacksonville. Now, of course, it was Jacksonville, which is probably the worst team in the NFL, but you beat up on the teams that you're supposed to beat up on. Thomas, you said that last week, so I know you would agree with it. 38 first downs is insane in a football game. That is, just drive. It's just, that's absolutely crazy in my opinion. They put up I think it was like almost 300 more yards, or no, 400 and some yards more than Jacksonville or something like that. I got to look at it, but it's something outrageous like that. And then here's the other thing, and I've been saying this: they're the most complete team, offense, defense, special teams, and even coaching, right? And a lot of people balk at the coaching situation, but you know what? This team has taken on his identity. They've become him. They've become ingratiated to the city of Detroit. That city is behind them, and it's all due to the coach. It's all due to the coach. And not only that, but his coaching staff that he put together. Once again, I'm on coaching heavy because Eberflus, I see it. It's a glaring issue for the Bears. So when I look at other teams and I see the amount of talent that they have, and then what they're able to do with their coaching staff, you put together guys who are smart around you. You bring in guys, same thing as Minnesota did. Kevin O'Connell wasn't threatened by Brian Flores, but he brought him in and said, hey, run this thing and do your thing over there. And that's the difference between what you see from somebody like Matt Eberflus. Same thing with the Lions. He brought in Aaron Glenn. You got Ben Johnson. These are coaches that are well put together. They know what they're doing, and it seems like they're getting things going in the right direction. The Lions are outstanding. One last thing that I will say about the Lions: 3 games this year, they've beaten 3 different teams by 38 or more points. It's insane, bro. You cannot tell me that they're not the number 1 team in the power rankings right now.
Absolutely. So, you know what? I just appreciate that every single guest that comes on this show feels like this is their time to have their weekly therapy session. I love it. The entire list was dedicated to nothing but the best teams, having one of the best coaching staffs, one of the best head coaches playing right now. And at the very last second, make sure he could diss Matt Eberflus on the way out. If that ain't a mic drop, I don't know what is, man.
Absolutely. Had to.
I love it. So before we get to my list and some notable conversations to have here later on in the show, we'll be taking a commercial break. So this has been the Rankings Roundtable Show, and we'll see you after this.
You are watching Team NBS Media. We are a digital media brand covering sports, entertainment, and lifestyle, with team members all across the country. Through our written content, podcasts, and video content, we bring you fresh and professional content. Interested in joining the team? Shoot us an email or DM. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Rankings Roundtable Show. I am your host, Thomas Brown Jr. I have Dan over here, who's on my left, but it's the corner's right, okay? We got Mark from the Mass Podcast at the bottom of the screen here, unless you just literally have a different screen than us. That's Mark there. So y'all lists were very well established, I think one might say, as the host of this show. But it's nothing like having my list, because apparently this is the list that everybody has to be up in arms about, has questions about, trying to see if I was if I watched the games, I was accused of watching the games at one point in the middle of me talking about my list. I love it. I embrace it. It's about as polarizing can get. So, let's see. What does my list look like? Put it up for them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start from the ground up, baby. Them Arizona Cardinals, I know they're on a bye today, but the fact that Kyler Murray in that offense is putting a lot of hope in Arizona. That offense is playing well. Trey McBride is getting receptions. Marvin Harrison is slowly but surely getting involved in the offense more and more. And Kyler Murray is just being Kyler Murray. You know, it's ironic how many times we want to try to get rid of quarterbacks because of them having an ACL injury or something along those lines. And Kyler Murray is an example of why you shouldn't do that so quickly. I have the Cardinals at 10. 9, I have the Houston Texans. I don't care how bad the Cowboys are. I always appreciate teams that beat them down week in and week out, baby. It brings me a lot of joy. Now, I just want to shout out Joe Mixon, a guy who was in Cincinnati large part of his career and was very underrated. But now that he's in Houston, having 3 touchdowns on Monday night, man, that running game is solid, which is ironic because we wish that the pass protection would be a little bit better because it's the same offensive line doing the exact same thing. But we have the Texans at 9. Joe Mixon's been awesome, and they're still winning, baby. Back to the winning ways. I got the Minnesota Vikings at 8. Now, look, I mean, the Vikings are a team I just don't know if I should trust them with the keys of the car or what. Like, I don't know. Sam Darnold's starting to play like Sam Darnold again. Thankfully, they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. But, my God, best defense and you have a best wide receiver. So, I guess that's a solid reason to be 8-2, but it hasn't really been an impressive showing so far. 7, I have the Ravens. Man, I really don't know what there is to say about Baltimore. Like, we got people dropping the ball. We got people struggling to tackle. Like, it's crazy because all this time we were talking about how bad the defense was. You know, you remember those conversations, how bad they've been. They actually played pretty well this past weekend. They held all Steelers points to field goals the entire time. Now, I know that's not something you want to, be like, oh, yeah, we're going to plant our flag on that one. But the defense that's been struggling all year to actually perform this way at 7, man, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact we need to just accept that sometimes the Steelers are just better than the Ravens, no matter what kind of roster they have. But it's an eyebrow raiser going on in Baltimore, for sure. 6, I have the Chargers. Now, the Chargers are a team that they just have a coach that just finds a way to get the most out of their entire team. Week in and week out. Jim Harbaugh is playing with a whole lot of nobodies outside of Nick Bosa and sometimes Khalil Mack on defense, having one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, then you have an offense that they are asking one of their best young quarterbacks in the league to not throw over 25 times a game because we have that good of a running game with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. It is really impressive what they're able to do in their quick turnaround because like I said last week, I'll say it again, the fact that at this point last year, they were scraping away trying to get 5 wins. And that's all they ended up having. To now, 7-3, it's pretty good, baby. I have the Steelers at 5. Man, them Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Look, I'm going to have to pull a Shaq right now. I wasn't familiar with your game. I apologize, okay? I wasn't familiar with your game. I didn't think that y'all had the offense to actually beat teams like Baltimore, and you did that. I didn't think you had a defense to contain some top offenses in the league in Baltimore, and you did that. And as much as I couldn't stand at first the QB change from Russell Wilson to Justin Fields, I think we all should say this in unison that the offense plays better when he's on the field for them. I know it's not the sexy thing to say. I know there's still some people out there that's like, why would you bench Justin? His confidence is shot. How dare you? I'm like, I don't blame you, but the offense the running game has improved drastically. You know, George Pickens is getting a lot more targets, a lot more receptions. He's becoming more involved in the offense. He's one of your top players on the team. So I know, you know, they may not be the sexiest team. They don't always drop 30 points a week. They don't, you know, have the splash play of the week. But, man, they just find a way to win. And Mike Tomlin is very good at doing that over his career. Fourth, I got the Chiefs. Man, I'll say this to my number 2 team on my list. It's about time somebody beat them. It's about time, okay? I'm tired of seeing these parallels between the Chiefs and the Patriots and them having their 17-0 seasons and all this other stuff. I was tired of seeing it on my timeline. I really was. But the way that Kansas City was playing up to this past Sunday was honestly scary because everybody was talking about how trash they were at them being undefeated. But their offense is just coming along. Now, the offense, you know, was leaking oil a little bit against Buffalo. But, I mean, they're still there at 9-1. Can't really blame them. They just need to get back on the winning column, which bears a whole lot of concern for the Panthers. Number 3, we have the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles fly. Now, I don't think it needs to be overstated here. When you have one of the best records in the NFC, you're competing with Detroit for the number 1 seed in the NFC. When you have Saquon Barkley in your backfield, who just, you know, wakes up and has 2 touchdowns, you couldn't ask for you couldn't ask for anything better than that. You just can't. I'm sorry. Okay? And Jalen Hurts, he may have some risky throws every once in a while, but he's still one of the best quarterbacks in this league, and he's been playing like it. Hasn't been throwing a whole lot of interceptions, so I have to put the Eagles there at 3, along with one of the best young defenses in the NFL, might I add. Shout out to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. All right, number 2, we have those Buffalo Bills, baby. They did what we didn't think was possible, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, granted, they were on the road, but who cares? Josh Allen he's just that guy, man. I think if Lamar wasn't tearing it up, we would be talking about him for MVP. I really do. He's been playing that spectacular. And Amari Cooper is still dealing with injury, with, you know, a running game that, you know, could lose a little bit of a spark that it had early on in the year. But even still, man, they're just from top to bottom, offense, defense, playing complementary football, and they're doing it against the best team. So love to see that. Number 1, we got the Detroit Lions. Look, okay, I'm sorry. All right, I had y'all way down last week. I was wrong. I was wrong. Okay, I know I shouldn't have given y'all that bulletin board material because what y'all did to the Jacksonville Jaguars was so bad that they haven't figured out to fire Doug Peterson yet. That's how bad the beating was in Detroit this past Sunday. It was ridiculous. 17 possessions ended in the score, 7 of them being touchdowns, is insane. So I got the Detroit Lions at number 1 to cap off my top 10 list. Hopefully it doesn't drive anybody nuts. Okay? So there is that. Dan, now I'm curious. You have the Chiefs at 3 over the Steelers. Why is that?
Did I have the Chiefs over the Steelers?
No.
No.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, switch the other way around? Okay, sorry.
Steelers over the Chiefs, yeah.
You had the Steelers over the Chiefs? Okay.
Yeah, I put the Steelers over the Chiefs. I'm still not a believer in the Chiefs, man. That's number one. You know what I mean? I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said, man, they just seem to get things done. You talk about identities in football teams, right? That they need an identity. Detroit has established their identity. Pittsburgh, they've had this same identity for years. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard fought. We're going to play defense. We're going to execute. We're going to do this, do that. And Mike Tomlin puts it together every single year, man. Even if they don't win, it's still going to be a tough, difficult game pretty much every single time they go in there. So I just put them above Kansas City. I don't believe Kansas City is as good as what people think they are right now. But that can change, of course, So you still got a lot of ways to go, 7 or 8 games or whatever it is. So.
Okay. Cool. Now, Mark, as much as I love them being in this spot, I believe you have the Eagles at, is it 5? Am I mistaken?
Shit, that's a good question. 4 or 5, I ain't memorized the list. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. We have the Eagles at 4. So do you feel like they should have a better standing than Pittsburgh, even with what we're doing in Philly? What is your gauge on that?
Do I believe that they belong at 4?
Oh, over the Steelers, yeah.
Over the Steelers? Well, yeah, I think they are a better team than the Steelers. Not just because I fucks with the Eagles or anything like that, but
right.
But honestly, we're about to find out because they do go head to head. So all this speculation shit is about to end because that is a team. Those are 2 teams that are going to play each other. I hate speculation shit. So we do get to see them go head to head, but right now they look like the better team. The defense, I believe, is better. The offense, come on now. I'll take AJ Brown over Pickens all fucking day long. I'll take Smitty over Austin all day long. I'll take Saquon over Harris all day fucking long, and I'll take Jalen Hurts over Russell Wilson all day long. So yeah, I think they better. They at where they belong at.
Okay. Cool.
And hold up. One more thing. And Dan,
sure.
I'm sorry, brother. I didn't do anything to you because I did hear your slick comment about the Eagles, about our division being trash. I knew that was more for Thomas because Thomas be talking mad shit about the Bears. So I'm gonna let that slide, brother.
I got you. It was definitely directed at Thomas. You know what I mean?
I know.
You caught it stray. You caught a little stray right there, but
I know it's all good.
Look, man, I don't look. In fairness, I don't blame him. And the only reason why I enjoy the trolling that I do is because number one, we have one of the best segments there is. In all of Team NBS Media at the end of the show, where I take a lot of pride in laughing at the worst teams in the NFL. It's just a beauty to behold. So when I look at the Bears, I like poking fun with them simply because at the beginning of this year, with Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift and all these different guys as weapons for Caleb Williams, you would have thought that they would play a lot better than this, and they're struggling, and it's literally ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. So I can't help myself. Okay. So don't blame me. Blame the franchise. Okay.
Just
blame the franchise.
You still
they get plenty of my vitriol. Absolutely.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh,
speaking of franchises, man. So there is HBO is doing Hard Knocks for the entire AFC North division coming up in December. And which makes me be curious enough to ask out of y'all, if your team had a Hard Knocks, what questions would you have for them for how their season, based on how their season has gone so far this year? Just a solid 3 things that you're curious about. So I gotta ask you first because y'all had a Hard Knocks, so you would have a lot more experience in this endeavor than any of us ever will. So, what would be your 3 things to ask as far as if you were to go behind the scenes for them?
My first question would be: are you going to fire Matt Eberflus and win? That's number 1. Number 2, no. Number 2 would be, and trust me, that's not even what I wanted to happen, because Caleb Williams right now is on his second coordinator. It'll be 3 at the end of this year if the coach is fired, because Thomas Brown is not going to be carried over, right? New coach is probably going to get his own guy or whatever. Or you might hire some type of offensive-minded head coach, right? So Thomas Brown will probably be on his way out. So it'll be 3 different coordinators, and Caleb would be starting his second year. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. It'll be 4 coordinators for Eberflus if he gets to hire another one. That'll be 4 in his tenure. That's absurd as well. So I didn't want this to happen to our coach or to our quarterback or the football team, but I would ask that question. When are you going to fire him, and how soon? And then another question that I would have is, why did you is the softness, do you think the softness was reflected by how we were perceived on Hard Knocks? Because there was a lot that went into it, right? So from my understanding and what reports have had that I've read are saying is that, you know, the ownership didn't want any cursing on Hard Knocks, and you know what I mean? You wanted everything to be happy and everybody be friendly, and you know, we had GM crying at one point. Did that play a role into the softness that you see on this football team? That's the second question. And then the third question is, if you could do it all over, would you even have Hard Knocks? Because I wouldn't. Because what they put out there, I think, directly impacted how this football team plays football. Matter of fact, Keenan Allen even said in an interview last week, through OTAs, through training camp, our coordinator, Shane Waldron, was just a nice guy. He didn't hold anybody accountable. He was always nice, happy-go-lucky, blah, blah, blah. He didn't really get on anybody's case when they messed up or when they didn't have their stuff together. So I think being on Hard Knocks created this soft mentality and happiness there, and it now has manifested itself in the season, and the Bears are what they are right now because of it.
Okay. Very intriguing questions. I think the one for me easily, if I had to choose as a Bears fan, is what was the conversation like to Tyreek Stevenson on that Hail Mary during that week? Like, did he like get like the soft like spanking like with the paddle of like, look, man, we gotta just sit you down for this game, man. Like after that was ridiculous. Or did he just like berate him left and right?
But he couldn't though, because you're the coach. You have a full coaching staff. Nobody saw him doing that. You see what I'm saying? So where were y'all at? How can you hold players accountable when you're not accountable to your own jobs? You're not doing your job. Somebody should have saw him, and somebody should have called a timeout. We had 3 of them.
Yeah. I ain't gonna argue with that one. I don't blame you at all. Mark, what would be those 3 things that you would want to know about the Philadelphia Eagles today?
First, before I forget, something that Dan just said, you know, it got me. We're talking about Caleb Williams. What we said, his second coordinator in just his rookie season. All right, I'm gonna say this about my team. Jalen Hurts got there in 2020. He is on his 4th offensive coordinator. 4th.
It's crazy.
No one talks about that. No one mentions that. Like, dude, that's learning 4 playbooks. Like, almost every fucking year, you got to learn a new playbook.
That's crazy.
No one talks about that when it comes to Jalen Hurts and what he's had to overcome since coming into the league. But, you know, I think
everybody just pays attention to Sirianni.
Yeah, I'm a homer, so I can't talk about that. But, you know, that's something to think about. Same shit with, like, Alex Smith when he was with Kansas City. It was not San Fran. It was just like, yo, and who was the other kid? Jay Cutler and them. It was like, yo, OC after OC after OC. One of his quarterbacks struggle because there's no foundation. But that's a whole nother topic. But I just had to put that because Dan mentioned that, and I was like, well, shit, Hurts had 4 in the last 4 of the season.
And everybody always has something to say about Jalen.
Yeah. So once again, I'll just drink my tea and shit and just shut up. But the questions I would ask is, and I like Saquon Barkley talks about Sirianni a lot. Me, I would love to play for Sirianni. The shit with the sideline shit. You have not heard a player say, "I don't fuck with my coach." One question I would ask is, how is the relationship between him and Hurts? I would love to know how their relationship is now. Number 2, I would love to ask James Bradbury, how are you feeling watching the young take your fucking spot on the team? And number 3, Jahan Dotson, how does it feel to steal money from the Eagles? Because you ain't done shit since you got traded here from Washington, bro. That's my 3 questions.
Okay. See, I had the curveball, and I saw it coming.
Joe, you can take Dotson ass back to the DMV. We don't want him no more. I know you watching.
I can't even blame you on that one. I really can't.
Hey Mark, Cutler, by the way, 6 offensive coordinators.
See what I'm
in Chicago. We doing the same thing. This is what we do.
Yeah. Doing the same damn thing.
Bro, it's
crazy. Damn, 6? Shit.
Yeah.
And I like Cutler. Cutler was a beast to me, yo. Him and Brandon Marshall. Oh my God.
Matt Forte. Yeah, I remember some of y'all Bears team.
Yep.
So I think for me, if I were to ask 3 things about the Eagles, I think number 1 is what was the conversation like during?
You talking shit, Steve? You don't sit your fake Minnesota Viking team ass down somewhere and go, better get your ass out of here. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
You good, Mark? You good?
Don't
man.
have me on those shows, man.
Oh man, no. Number 1 for sure is like, what was the conversation during the bye week? Like, what was the switch that saw them win 6 straight now since that bye week? Like, what happened? Start off 2-2, everything was looking a little doom and gloom. Then they get to the bye week, now all of a sudden they just racking off wins. It's kind of crazy. That's number 1. Number 2 is, I wonder how the players really feel about Nick Sirianni. Because for me, I've always said that, if we can get better, why not go after better? And with Nick Sirianni, man, it's like, what do you do well? You're not in charge of the offense, you're not in charge of defense. What do you do? But apparently, everybody loves this guy. And I want to know, I honestly want to see the presentation, the PowerPoint presentations all over again. I want to see the different conversations he has with, I don't know, Saquon, Jalen, just the entire offense. Like, how do you – I really wonder how that dynamic works. I know it's probably working a little bit easy because you're winning, but if you were to actually have a lie detector test on them, I wonder what they would actually feel about Nick Sirianni. And then lastly, it would probably be, I wonder what the coaching staff decision was when they started involving Cooper DeJean more. Because at first, it started off being on kickoffs and doing weird stuff in the nickel. Now he's a very vital part of that defense. And it's like, I wonder what conversations was had behind the scenes that was like, you know what, we need to really factor him in some more. So boom, let's have Cooper in it. Because it's worked out for us. I ain't mad, I ain't complaining. So there's that. Now, we saw yesterday that the Jets fired their GM and Joe Douglas. I mean, yeah, they really are. It's just getting bad in New York. So I want to ask y'all what y'all thoughts were when y'all saw the news, and does this show just how stinky the New York Jets have been and are for the last part of our lifetimes here? What do you think, Dan?
Well, I mean, once again, man, it just hits home for me on so many different levels. Being a Bears fan, right? You have the fan base right now, they're clamoring for, Eberflus to be fired. I'm a proponent of that as well. I want him to be fired. But I look at teams like the Jets who are constantly in flux. They're always hiring, whatever. And you don't see any, anything good, right? And a lot of people are like, man, if the Bears only had, half the balls to fire Eberflus right now as well, then it'd be great. And true enough, it might be fine, but do you do more damage than good? I have to ask that question. You know what I mean? So, a team like the Jets, who are always in this situation where they're firing somebody or hiring somebody or making changes here and there, teams like them, teams like the Raiders who do it constantly over and over and over, they seem to stay at the bottom of the league. You know what I mean? And that is what it is. So there is some, while you like to see guys get gone who are not doing well, there is some problems with it that can be had as well. I laughed at it. I find it hilarious because all I remember is seeing Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers kind of gloating when Devontae Adams got traded over there to the Jets. So it's kind of funny to see how this season has gone for them. I'm not fans of theirs, of course, because they were Green Bay Packers. So yes, I do carry that grudge against them, and I'll probably have that grudge against them for the rest of my life as well.
At least you're honest, though. At least you're honest about it.
I enjoy it. I'm enjoying the demise of the Jets. I love it.
Oh, man. Trust me, we all do. Because I think we all took a collective laugh when Devontae, out of all teams to choose from, wanted to get with Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's like we all just sat up there and was just like, ha, 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 ha. Look at you, deciding to go to the Jets, you fool. Like, we all was just like, you fucking idiot. Like, come on, man. What is this? So Mark, what is your thoughts when you saw that they fired Joe Douglas, man?
We talked about this yesterday on the show. My issue with that is you fired a damn good GM. It's like the Bears trying to fire Ryan. Like, why? Because Caleb Williams threw an interception. Like, this guy built a young team from scratch. He picked some great players. They having a bad fucking year. They having a bad year. The problem is, my thing is, same shit with, like I spoke yesterday, with Jerry Jones. Let the owner be the owner. Get your ass off the television. Stop talking about a team you just write the checks for. I mean, I know it sounds fucked up, but you are a owner. You are not a GM. You're putting your business into football business. Woody Johnson, you got the money, but yet you are ambassador to another. Like, my nigga, find out what it is you want to do. Like, you want to rep this other country. You're not even repping the country you live in. But you worry about a football team. You are destroying that. You fired the coach because your brother hired him. Like, y'all got some sibling rivalry going on, and it's spilling over to a professional football team. No matter what happens, that coach should not have been fired. That's when you broke the locker room. Right. Then you're firing the GM, the same guy that some of these players would give their life for because he gave them a chance. Mm-hmm. Now you're like, you know what, fuck it, you're going too. Now these players are like, you know what, now the report is you don't want Aaron Rodgers to come back next year. No matter how cats feel about Rodgers, like, it's a bad year that's going on because there's so much turmoil. Imagine Jerry Jones saying, you know what, I don't want Dak Prescott next year. Like, you're fucking that team up because you're gonna fuck them up, and then you're gonna jet off to England or wherever, and become a knight or whatever the fuck it is he's doing over there. I have no idea. But you're messing that team up, and then you're gonna jet. Like,
so what is Sir Woody Johnson?
He's worse than Jerry Jones in my opinion. But that's why they keep failing, because they're failing that leadership. My bad, y'all. Like I said, don't invite me on the show no more, yo.
Oh my goodness! Look, y'all. Oh, killing me. Oh man, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. I never thought I would ever hear the words Sir Woody Johnson on an episode of the Ranking Roundtable show, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, man. Like,
I don't know what he's doing though. He's doing something. I don't know what the fuck that motherfucker doing, yo. He's doing too much. He's his ass out.
He tripping, man.
But the same way we're all laughing, man. Like, that just goes to show you how much of a joke of a franchise the New York Jets is. Like, seriously. Like, it's one thing to be a bad football team on the field. It's another thing to be bad at coaching. But my God, y'all bad at firing people? Y'all firing the wrong people? First it was Robert Saleh, now we got how y'all mess up firing the wrong people? How does that work? Usually, now look, I've never been in a position of power, so maybe I can't say nothing, but like, I thought that was one of the simplest parts of the job. You saw somebody who wasn't performing well. You saw somebody whoever was, got the position and they got to keep it until they couldn't perform no more. Then whoever was underperforming, you just kick rocks. You didn't even think twice. I guess we don't live in that much of a cold world no more. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. But
it's crazy. You fire both of those guys, and now when the new GM comes in, and you got to get a new GM. But now he has to be satisfied with what he got on the roster, right? Yep. And most of the time, let's be real, when GMs come in and they take over a team, what's the first thing they do? Start stripping stuff away. Yep. Stuff that they don't like, because everybody doesn't see the players the exact same way. You see a different vision for how you want to construct the football team. So it's going to be crazy. And then he got to match that up with whoever he hires as coach to come in and say, yeah, I can deal with these players, or no, I don't want to get rid of, you know what I mean? It's going to be a fight. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just overall, it's a joke. Like, I really need the Jets to grow some testicles or something, so that way they could, because they're having this thing where it's like whatever Aaron Rodgers says, they listen, or they follow his guidance. Like, look, man, the guy was on the darkest retreat last year. Let him be a leader of whatever he got going on with that. Okay, maybe he might mess. Yeah. Let him lead that. Let him lead that little ayahuasca line he got going on or something. Like, let him be in charge of that. But you got him in charge of the whole franchise, like he's done something for y'all. Like, this is ridiculous, man. Aaron Rodgers, it's ridiculous, bro. Y'all, the Jets are a joke, okay? Which is why I love laughing at them all day long. And speaking of laughter all day long, we got a segment for you. It's one of the best on the show. It's my personal favorite. This is an opportunity for us to talk about just how bad some of these teams are, and we get to laugh at them the entire way. It's a beautiful thing. We talk so much about our top 10 list, and that's all cool and dandy. But it's nothing like when you have to be the porta potties of the NFL. And we have 5 of them that are talked about on this week. And now I present to you the Stinky 5. Yes! Oh, that was perfect. Oh, I love it here. This is great. Mark, what does your Stinky 5 list looks like?
Yeah, you see, there's no Bears up there. You know what I'm saying? I got respect for Chicago like that. Number 5, no doubt. I got the Jets. Once again, I don't know what the fuck they doing. But they belong up there. Carolina, like, you got to put them up there because they record sucks. But at the same time, their franchise is not as bad as the Jets. The Raiders, what the? Like, they playing quarterback ding dong Dixie. It's like you're it 1 week, you're it the next. total confusion over there. Jacksonville, why the fuck are y'all still in the league? Y'all need to be fighting for the BCS or the college playoff, whatever is going on over there. And I love Doug Peterson, no doubt. But yeah, that team sucks. And the New York Giants, the shit y'all just pulled this week, y'all knocked this dude down to 4th string. It's so bad they went and signed another quarterback this week. I think it was yesterday. How the fuck do you how do you do that? And then what's the guy named? Drew Lock? They interviewed him. He was like, yo, I was brought here to be the number 2 quarterback. Now I'm the number 3. I don't know what's going on. That's some fucked up shit, yo. That's cold-blooded. This is dangerous. Point to the Jets. No wonder they play in the same fucking stadium. Y'all suck. But that's my 5, yo. Not the SpongeBob though. Not the dusty cracked out SpongeBob though. You a man?
Looking like Aaron Rodgers in his Green Bay days.
Yo, Dad is cold, yo. Oh, that is cold.
Oh my God. Man, shout out to Joe behind the scenes cooking that up for us, man. We appreciate all the strings you had to pull to make that happen. Oh my God. Oh man. For everyone that's tuning in, thank y'all so much for joining and being a part of the conversation of this week's Rankings Roundtable show. This was great, fellas. This was awesome. What a sight to behold. Mark, I know it's been a while. Please come again. Dan, you're starting to have a very recurring seat in here. So maybe we should just have a seat filled just for Dan. I don't mind that, by the way.
I appreciate you.
Nah, you gotta respect Dan though, you know what I'm saying? Much love to Dan.
We got a velvet seat waiting on him. Trust me.
Not a velvet seat though. Damn, not a velvet seat.
Give me a throne, man. Dang.
Oh, you want a throne?
No. I'm gonna follow Woody Johnson. I'm gonna go call me Sir Dan from now on.
Dan, hold up. Dan is now knighted.
Knighted.
Okay, I know.
Okay. Oh, this is awesome. I'm not even joking. This is the best I've ever seen on full display. The production behind the scenes, the interaction, y'all are fantastic, man. So, Mark, where can they find you at? And let them know, man.
I want to be found, but you can find me on Twitter at BX Reporter. I'm a co-host of the Mass Podcast. You can find my articles on Team NBS Media.com. As far as that, don't look for me.
After that, I'm
fair enough, Dan. We keep the market in plain sight.
Same thing here, man. Find me at Danikin_DG3. You can find me on the podcast. We did one yesterday. It dropped actually today. Foul on the Play with Christy Love over at Team NBS Media. Of course, on this show, man, I had a great time. Thanks for having me. I always appreciate the invite. Hopefully I can come back again and chill and have a good time, laugh a little bit with you guys. Of course, Three Kings of the Midway podcast as well, where we talk exclusively Bears football. And we're going to get to it probably later on this evening and give you guys some nice stuff to listen to as well.
Yeah, but hold up. Y'all do a whole podcast on the Bears? Dang, that's got to hurt. Like, what do y'all talk about, though?
I actually do, too, bro. It's that one, and then, of course, we do Foul on the Play with
y'all do 2 shows?
I subject myself to 2 hours of talking about this stuff, man. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And y'all still living? Ain't nobody shoot they damn shit like No, Dan, I'm just fucking with you, Dan. I'm just fucking with you.
I know, man. I know. I got you, bro. It's all good. It's all good. We gotta take it. We gotta take our medicine this year, man. It is what it is.
But no, that's what's up, though. I'm just fucking around, yo.
It's good. It's good. Cause I don't know. how many more therapy sessions you need a week when it comes to the Chicago Bears. And Dan just proved that it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
To a whole nother level, yo.
We do a spaces on Twitter as well, bro. Like we talk about the game after the game, you know what I mean? Like a post game, a pre-game. I'm about to start
more
spreading
Bears
stuff.
fans, so it's like a whole trough to y'all. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yo, Elon gotta have like a therapy space.
And trust me, like people, when I don't do it, they're like, damn, where's the space, man? We need therapy. We need therapy today. Like, yeah, for real. Thousands of people, bro. Like we had like 2,000 people last week.
Yo, what time is it? I gotta come and listen to this.
It's right after the game. We usually have it pregame and then we do a halftime show and then we do a post game deal as well.
Oh yeah. Please let me know. I gotta come and hear this. I gotta come and hear this. 'Cause I wanna know. I always want to know what suicide sounds like before it happens. So, yo, like I said, don't invite me on this motherfucker no more. Yo.
Oh my God.
Nah. Yo, my job is to make y'all laugh, yo, real shit.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Hey, I had a good time, man. I don't mind laughing about it, bro. I'm not, you know what I mean? Hey, but trust and believe, it's coming back at y'all as soon as Philadelphia starts. Oh man, I can't wait. Let something go wrong.
That's fucked up.
Oh man, we'll be waiting on that. But you know, we know that the Bears take our spot in that department. So
y'all gave me a headache. Oh. Yo, they got 3 fucking shows in the Bears, so that's crazy. Damn, I ain't know Elon would let y'all do that, yo. Holy shit, 3 shows on the Chicago Bears. Oh god, and y'all had Hard Knocks. Y'all just damn. That's fucked up.
Oh man. Yeah, how much more media coverage do y'all need? I just thought about that. Y'all, man, we got podcasts everywhere on y'all. We got Hard Knocks. Like, what more media do y'all need right now?
It's crazy.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Oh, I needed that laugh.
Man.
It's rough out here, man.
Me too.
It's all good though. We got it. Sooner or later, it gotta come together. Sooner or later.
Oh man. Oh my god. All right. Y'all can find me at _ terrific Tom _ because it's infinite.
Yo, why got so many fucking underscores, yo?
Look, man. That's a good question, man. I don't know. So quick backstory. I was trying to figure out what username to have that would like coincide with my name, and nothing worked until I was like, oh, well, Terrific Tom sounds relatively original. Why not try that? Then they said that wasn't working because, of course, someone else dedicated the whole fan love page to Tom Brady, and of course, the tag is Terrific Tom. Well, I decided to be petty, and I was like, I'm gonna have Terrific Tom, but I'm gonna have the underscores on the front and the back, because that's how good it goes around here. So that is the quick little tangent that I had to go through with Instagram to make that happen. So it's come a long way, okay?
I'm just saying, you meet a chick on the street, and she be like, yo, what's your hands? You be like, yo, _ Terrific Tom. By the time she's gonna turn around and walk away, bro. She ain't got time for all that shit.
Too much right, man. Underscores, apostrophes, all that, man. Nah, I ain't doing all that.
Hey, Thomas, like I said, don't pay me no mind, bro. Do not pay me no fucking mind.
hey, look, man, it is all good, bro. I promise you. That's what everybody's responsibility is watching this. That's watching this thing. Y'all can comment what the change I should make to my Instagram and my X. Y'all can put those suggestions in the comment section, so that way I can figure out what my new tag is going to be. Okay, is that fair? I think that's fair.
I'm done.
But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on X. The same way. I am the host of the Rankings Roundtable show here with Team NBS Media. It's a lot of fun, baby. I might mess around and be on Moving the Change pretty soon too. I might poke some nerves in that department. We'll see.
What the hell? Team NBS Legal is always on the ready. What you mean? What you need your legal team for? What I do?
Just in case. Got to be ready. Just in case.
Oh man, we want to thank everybody who's been able to tune in, that's been sharing our stuff on X or Instagram, on any and everything, TikTok. We appreciate everybody tuning in, being a part of the conversation. We're here every week, 8:35 Eastern Time. Thank y'all so much. Fly, Eagles, fly. And lastly, join us, baby.